Yeah, just introduce yourself so the audience knows who you are and stuff, and then yeah,
Okay,
we'll go from there.
okay. Well, my name is Dr. Terry Hogan. I am the Director over Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the City of Fargo. Have been here now as of July 6th, for 3 years here doing the people's work. I was a professor for over 18 plus years in Illinois. I taught public policy and sociology. Enjoyed every moment of that. Just educating, educating, educating. The good, the bad, the young, the old, the whole gamut. Just a country boy from Mississippi.
Oh, smooth, smooth, smooth. So I remember you was telling me that um, you was raised by your grandparents, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've met people raised by their grandparents, and it's like they carry like a wisdom, kind of beyond their age group. So like, what was that kind of like, because I'm sure you was moving different completely compared to
Yeah.
everybody else in
Well,
Missouri, so.
well, you know what? In my home state of Mississippi,
Oh, sorry, Mississippi.
yeah,
Sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Mississippi, yeah, being raised by my great great grandmother and then my grandmother. My great great grandmother, upon raising myself and other siblings, would always tell us, make sure you get your good education, because she couldn't pronounce the word education, nor could she read, nor could she write. And with that being said, all of the siblings, we've tried to, do I'm not going to say the inevitable, if you will, but we've tried to, get that education because, being in the cotton fields during the time I was coming up, picking cotton, chopping cotton and all of that stuff, if you will, we wanted to leave that behind us and do something, that would be constructive. And also, too, I am a big advocate of leading by example. You know, when young folks can hear your story and know where you come from and what you have done, of course, being a young boy, at the same time, it makes a difference. It really, really makes a difference. So that's pretty much that. Yeah.
Man, that's smooth. That's smooth. So, um, I remember you also mentioned that you was big on sports too at the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, well, initially, like, how did you feel about your parents kind of or your grandparents putting that idea of education on you? Like,
Well, you know what? Education is the key to the kingdom,
mm,
for, I'm just going to say, for people of color, you know. And when I say people of color, that means all nationalities and things of that magnitude. Because, that piece of paper, although you have, great wisdom, great understanding, all that good stuff, that piece of paper really makes a difference in the dominant society, you know. Um, People, organizations, non-for-profit institution, they look at what you have earned. And the thing is that I've always told um, my lecture hall, my small classes, my intimate acquaintance, and so forth, you could never take away my education.
mm,
You could never take away my degrees. This is something that has been earned. It is something that I've cried. It is something that I've sweated, you know, to earn. And with that being said, it has really, really served me extremely well.
so then, like going through high school, like how was you able to like just stay so grounded and focused? Because
Well, in my home, in my hometown, the only thing that we could do as youth is basically go to church and go to school, go to church and go to school. And obviously, you had the labor, of your grandparents teaching you how to cook, so you can be self-sufficient,
mm,
you know, and things of that magnitude. But it was just all about you as the individual just being self-sufficient on your own right, you
mm,
see. And with that being said, just going to church and going to school, this is all as that we could do. We would go out and maybe, look at some amusement, with amusement parks or whatever may come to the city. But other than that, it was at school and church, man, school and church. And with that being said, it was a grounded thing for my family because all of my brothers and sisters either have bachelor's, master's, or if in fact law degrees, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So, and we came from nothing,
Mm.
you know, and, you know, um, just coming from nothing, you always realize, on where you're grounded, you know, and with that being said, that church and school is the one that put those values in us, is to be who we are as individuals today.
So then, like, what was it kind of like? Just because I know like when I was in school, a lot of the youth kind of had trouble kind of finding these opportunities, right? And I didn't even know like, I thought when I was a kid like college was like over a bridge across a river in some secluded area, like an Alcatraz type thing. I didn't know it was like right there, on 19th and University or NDSU was like right there, and so I don't know if you had that problem.
You know, I graduated in a small school, more so from elementary into, and we didn't have junior high school. We had high school. We went from elementary from first to sixth grade, and from seventh grade to 12th grade, it was considered to be high school. You know what I mean? And being that I came from this small enclave, if you will, we had college people or university recruiters. That's the new name, is that we call them, would come to the school and basically recruit. But then again, too, we had certain colleges that many of us as African Americans would go to. For example, Grambling State, Jackson State University, Mississippi Valley State University, Alcorn, University. These were HBCUs. These were historical colleges that many of us, because our brothers and sisters went there. You know what I mean? They pledged and did certain things, and no, we wanted to be like them. We wanted to be like them. You know what I mean? And so we would just go and choose an HBCU and attend that HBCU. I really didn't get, ingrained into a city college until I came to Illinois, way back in the day. And I'm not going to tell you when, way back in the day, because then you know my age, but way back in the day, you know, because everybody, where I came from looked just like me. So I got, more um, encouraged, when I saw people who looked different than and from me when I came to Illinois. And Illinois was the next chapter in my life, when I left college in Mississippi.
Wow, that's neat. So then, like I said, I was just looking into small things. So you got a bachelor's in sociology, master's in public administration,
A
PhD in public policy.
Yeah.
And
public
then
administration. Yeah.
You say you was teaching for quite some time, and then
Yeah.
you did consulting too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I did consulting in diversity, equity, inclusion. As a matter of fact, a good question. I was doing a diversity, equity, and inclusion way before all the training programs came into existence. You know what I mean? Because it was something that was just natural. It was natural for us at that time. We're old school, so we didn't have to go through all the training and do what's going on today. Now, the training is good and it helps, but yeah, I mean, I've been doing a diversity, equity, inclusion for over 20 plus years or so. Yeah.
Man, so then what was it like? I mean, being the first to do it, like, what is it like kind of just creating curriculum,
Yeah, when I was coming up in school, everybody had a sense of togetherness, you know. And I don't want to say today is a little different, in this time, but it was more so togetherness. And being that I was a college professor at the time, I got involved in cultural groups. In every school that I taught at, I got involved in cultural groups because I believe that cultural dynamics is so important. Is to learn about other people and other people learn about you. You see, and then again, too, we get along better, and we don't stigmatize or stereotype or say things that are so unhealthy, because we have basically had that dialogue to understand. And not as that, um, I just believe is that people should always compromise.
Mm.
Just compromise with each other. You may not agree, you may agree to disagree, but you can compromise because we all are different. And, with that being said, this is how we were back then, and this is how we justify that diversity, that equity and that inclusion process, being inclusive of speaking with each other and just letting that other person know, yeah, you know what? Your conversation, it has a lot of concept to it, so let me listen to it.
So then, like, what would you say was the difference between like back then and today?
Well, today I I think, and I'm just saying just hypothetically based off of my own view, everybody have a, I don't want to say everybody, some folks have a self-serving dynamic
Mm.
of who and what they are. We don't like to share. We don't like to talk. It's just certain things that we just don't like to do with each other who don't look like us, you know? And I think, that creates a lot of friction, you know, in the human nature, if you will, of who we are as people, because we are refusing or not choosing to understand, the reasoning of the other person versus who you are, you know. And with that being said, I believe that if we had more dialogue, more conversation with people who don't look like us or act like us or whatever it may be, I think that we could be a much, much better world. But again, a human nature says is that, we are there to do what we do and we do it, for the benefit of who we are.
I would assume that um, it'd be kind of the opposite, you know, um, being more so it's 2024 and quote unquote more progressive, right? But you're saying it's different, so that's why I'm like, um, okay, okay,
And that's basically, and that's based off of my view of the catalysts or in the categories of people that I work with,
mm,
on a daily basis or I see on a daily basis. Everybody is in their own little setup on what they want to do. And this is why I believe is that a diversity, equity, and inclusion makes a difference more so now than ever before. Because we are saying if you are diverse, you're different. If you're equitable, we want fairness. And out of that fairness comes inclusiveness.
mm.
So that inclusiveness is me talking to the other person, the person getting to know me, I'm getting to know them, and et cetera. It's things of that magnitude.
So then, what made you pursue education to this degree in these specific fields?
I had no choice. I had no choice, but I had good mentors.
Mm.
When I went to college, working towards my master's degree, I had some darn good mentors. I would never forget Dr. Lubin and Dr. Hamilton. These were white professors that took this little boy of color, under their wing. And when I got my first master's degree, that they're like, no, you can keep going because you have done so well, you know. And they push me and they push me, and basically I ended up going into um, a discipline, a public administration, and I never thought that I would.
Mm.
And public administration is that you are a public figure, you are a person who enjoys taking care of people and want to work in the public sector and things of that nature. I never thought in a million years I would be doing this. I just thought I would just continue just to be a college professor, just educating and meeting different people. But I've been enjoying every moment of my life and what I do.
Man, that's smooth. And like where does that come from? Like where does that? Because a lot of parents be like, go into nursing, or go into this, or go into like this. I don't know if this sounds like a safe career
Yeah.
choice.
Well, the thing is that what I consider myself as being a people's person.
Mm.
I love people, man. Regardless of race, creed, color, sexuality, LGBT, it doesn't matter to me. I love people, you see, and being that I love people, I guess it's just in my fabric. I love people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then, I guess what would you? I don't know if I should leave that because I was gonna say, what would you say to the youth? But I'll leave that more to the end. How did you say kind of motivated through your like earlier days, and even now? Like, how do you still stay motivated?
My faith, my faith, you know, and I don't want to put religiosity into the stamina, but my faith, man, my faith is what really keeps me going. You know, my family keeps me going. But you know, me just believing and just knowing that, you know, I can wake up every day, you know, into this existence and know in fact I'm still healthy. Know in fact I can still walk, I can still talk. You know, it's just my faith, man. And then again, too, you know, I involve myself with positive people,
Mm.
you know, positive people, you know, and they don't even have to be of the same faith, but you know, but they're just positive people, you know. I wake up every day and I'm smiling. You know, you got to smile. You know what I mean? You got to smile. You know, I mean, this is what this world is all about. You know, is just, you know, just being happy because you only live life one time.
Man, that's
You
facts.
know, I mean, you only live life one time, so you just can't be, you know, somber and all. You know, I'm just not. No, I'm not with that. Nah.
Man, you forgot to add the gym part too. You
Yeah,
big gym
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, that's my hobby, man. That's my hobby. You know, I spend a lot of time in the gym doing my thing. You know, I mean, I've always done it. You know, my years of playing football and so forth. And
Okay.
I had a coach to tell me, he says, whatever you do, he says, stay in the gym and try to eat halfway decent. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So, you know, I mean, that's just my hobby. And then again, too, you know, the gym is a good, healthy parameter for individuals. You know what
Right.
I mean? You know, you have to, you know, keep yourself, you know, in shape to a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not a spring chicken for you know for this audience out here. You know, I'm not a spring chicken, man. So, you know, I try to do what I can.
Man, so then like growing up, like how was you? Because I remember you was talking about how like the equipment wasn't really, or
Man, we used to listen. We used to when we go out on the football field or play in the sports. We used to use the tractor tires.
yeah,
You know what I
I remember you
mean?
was saying
And
that.
as weights, man. Or we will grab certain bricks and things of this nature and just make something out of them, you know, just weights, you know, because we wasn't that, you know, that kind of school that had a lot of funding.
Mm.
You know, we were in a very, very poor state in a poor town, you know, and we had to make do with what we had, you know what I mean? And that's what we did. We made do with what we had, you know. And so, you know, we would take those tractor tires, small, large, big, and make it work for what is, you know, for what it's worth.
Mm. So then, what was it like? Kind of like going from where you started, and then going to the college and you getting the good equipment, and
Listen,
what was that transition period
man,
like? And
listen. It was one of the most beautiful things in the world. But you know what? I would always tell the story to young brothers and sisters. Listen, man, you know, all this equipment wasn't always here. You know what
mm,
I mean? You know, depending on how you was raised, where you come from, you know, you didn't have these, you know, all this stuff, you know. You know, you had stuff is that you had to make do with. So in answer to your question, I mean, now with these modern times, everything is there. You know, you can work out every part of the body with a certain machine that you need. Back then, no, you could not. Now you can do whatever you need to do in
yeah,
order to stay, you know, proficient. Yeah.
right. And then like, how about like even with diet as well? Like, what was it kind of like? Just because there wasn't.
I grew up on beans and cornbread, brother. I grew up on beans and cornbread. You know what I mean? I mean, we would have, you know, meat like the chicken and things of this nature and so forth. But at the same time, too, you know, you probably a lot of folks, you know, they know this. You know, you can kill your own, you know, your own chicken and, you know, and throw them in, you know, in the oven or whatever it may be, and you know, and get your protein or whatever it may be. You know, but we pretty much grew up on the, you know, on the land
Mm,
because we grew cucumbers and pinto beans and black eyed peas and okra and tomatoes and squash. You know, we grew that. You know what I mean? But at the same time too, yeah, yeah, that's fine. At the same time too, we basically, I just lost my train of thought.
oh, you was talking about how you used to grow your own food and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But you know, when I was growing up, you know, we man, we just ate a lot of stuff that was basically just from us. So we raised pigs, hogs. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We would kill the livestock and preserve, the meat for the winter time. Salt it down and things of this nature and so forth. We lived off what we could make on our own. You know what I mean? And now, as of today, uh, folks can go out and buy the steak and buy this and buy that and
Yeah.
you know and eat and feel good about it. But I'm just all about the healthy.
Man.
So
No,
yeah.
for sure. So then, like, how was you able to just hold on to that aspect of your life? Because I do know that, like, some people, they hit that next level and it's like they gone. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
But it's like I see you navigating though. Like
Listen,
you'll go here and
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? You are what you eat. That's the number one factor. You are what you eat. And when you think is that you can look halfway decent by what put in your body, and things of this nature, and you see in fact is that you're not aging as your friends, you grew up with and things like that because you're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. And when you look in the mirror and look at you, you see you,
Man.
and
Facts.
you know whether or not if you look good or bad. And
Facts.
if you don't look the way you want to look, it's up to you. It's to get you together. That's what that's all about.
Man, but like even with that, cause like, it's like humble beginnings, and I just asked, it's like, man, you hit like a certain level, right? Or you see that certain paycheck, and it's like, yeah, like I'm going. So then, how was you able to just like hold on to that and just like not forget where you came from?
And you can't, man. I mean, you can't forget where you come from because where you come from is your grounding experience. And the thing is that I will always be country. I don't care what anybody say. I can come to the big city, Chicago, North Dakota, wherever. I don't listen. I am always country. I will always be country. Sometimes my dialect is not the best, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
The people around me know exactly what I'm saying. I tell folks all the time, my PhD doesn't make me who I am. My master's degrees doesn't make me who I am. My bachelor's degrees doesn't make me who I am. What makes me what I am is my values, my morals, my principles, and all these things that grounded me to be the individual that I am today. That's the end result.
So was there a point in your life, or where was the point in your life, or was there a point in your life where you was like, yeah, like I made it? Like...
Well, I probably would say yeah to a certain degree because when I received my PhD, man, I'm like, wow, because it's less than what, maybe 1% of the world
really
within the country
wow.
have their PhDs. You know what I mean? And that's a number that is kind of very, very small considering the population itself. You know what I mean? So, so once I achieved that, and I'm gonna tell you, brother, I cried, man. Man, I cried. Oh God. It was many times I wanted to quit and just stop and say, I can't do this. You turn in your chapters, and then the chapters they get returned back to you, and you got to do this and you got to do that, and you just exhaust yourself and put so much time into it, man. And when it was done, man, I'm like hallelujah,
man.
I'm like hallelujah. I'm like, I have done it. You know what I mean? I have done something that most folks, what they do, they go towards their masters and they just like, I'm not doing this no more. You know what I mean? I'm like, I've done it, and that's that, But again, I tell your audience is that, my degrees don't make who I am. You know what I mean? It's all the things that grounded me to make me the person that I am today. So yeah.
Man, facts. So then, what has it been like, kind of navigating like white collar America? Like, like what? Okay, so what? What kind of jobs were you working before you even Like,
Well, there's always been, well, being as that I'm from actually, Illinois, during the modern era, I always had a diverse group.
mm,
You know what I mean? Always had a diverse group. Um, and the diverse group has served me extremely well because I had a chance to understand other people, culture, other people, their racial ethnic background. Chicago was a very, very, is a very, very diverse city. You know what I mean? So I had a chance to, to get that, that grounding when I left Mississippi, you know, and then, I ended up here in North Dakota when I retired in Illinois, and, it was a little different. It was a little different, but at the same time, too, that differences is something that makes you better. It makes you a better person.
mm,
You know, you learn as you go. You
for
know,
sure.
and you compromise as you go. So with that being said, it's just an uphill thing that as you live your life, you learn different things as you go forth.
So then, like, what advice can you kind of give us in terms of navigating the more professional sector?
Are you saying young folks
I
or
mean, young people,
you know what?
minorities, like, everybody, just people in general.
Stay true to you.
Mm,
I mean, just stay true to you, man. You know what I mean? We all come from a different social strata, You got to stay true to yourself. I mean that's most important. You get in these companies and so forth, and they're like, well, you're talking like this and you're acting like this, and it's stay true to you. Be real to you, but still keep it professional. You know what I mean? you know and that's what and that's the advice that I can give folks. Just be who you are, stay true, but just keep it professional,
mm.
because life is what it is, man. You take one day at a time, and that's what I do. I take one day at a time, and I consider myself as being blessed. I consider myself as just as this person that is just going to, I'm gonna tell you what I mean, I'm gonna mean what I say, and just you know it's just all about just being true to you and who you are as an individual.
Man, so then, like, professionality, I don't know if that's something you're born with, being professional.
Well,
So then, like, how was you?
well, I think my professionalism comes with me. I think it comes with my morals and my values and my principles, because my grandparents always told me to treat folks how you would want them to treat you. You know what I mean? And of course, how you want to be treated. And the thing is that I've never been this person to, what word do I want to use? I've never been this person to try to make people feel bad. I've always tried to be this person to try to uplift as much as I can, even if I'm going through hard times, myself, or thinking about something that, could break down, my a motivational morale, if you will. I'm always still trying to uplift and keep other folks uplifted and so forth. And with that, I think with that is that the professionalism comes with you just that it's just having a regular dialogue
Mm,
on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? I try not to use big words that people don't understand. I just try to keep it real all the way through, you know, because, everybody don't have that same educational dynamics like you do. You know what I mean? So, I don't want people to think just because, I got this and I have that, in regards to credentials, that I consider myself more, because I'm not,
right,
you know,
right,
I'm
right,
not at
right.
all.
So then, packaging all that, flying over to Fargo, right? Like, what do you diversity? Like, what do you like about the diversity in Fargo? Like,
Okay.
is there anything you don't like? Just give us your
Yeah.
kind of summary.
Well, Fargo is really, really, really growing. And being that I've been here now for 3 years, I'm coming to the end of the chapter, as of October the 17th here in Fargo. But you know what? I have really seen Fargo grow, because when I came to Fargo, Fargo was 123,000.
Mm,
Now it is 133,000 plus, and still growing.
wow.
And they are predicting in the next few years or so, it might be close to 150 or more, you know. And Fargo is really, really growing with people that are coming here from other regions of the country, of the world, if you will. And guess what? We're going to have to embrace that. We're going to have to embrace that, and we're going to have to know, in fact, is that with everybody that is coming into Fargo, Fargo is going to have to find some way to become cultural appropriate, you know, and that cultural appropriateness, if you will, it's got to be the mainframe of us compromising, because as I said, we may agree to disagree, but us compromising, saying, in fact, you know what? We all can be inclusive. We all can be inclusive, and that's what it's all about, is being included, feeling included, knowing, in fact, is that your voice is heard.
Mm. So then, I guess number one, like, what would you say to an aspiring youth or person, kind of in an area where it's not as maybe accepting, um, and is trying to like thrive? What would you say to an aspiring youth or person just trying to?
You know what? What I would say to the person, and no matter what family you come from, have faith, get your education. You're never too young, you're never too old, and do what you enjoy doing in life. Because as I said, you only live life one time. And when a young person is trying to find their way, be that beacon of hope. Be that beacon of mentoring these young people and letting them know is that you can be whatever you want to be, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your race, your creed, your ethnicity. You can be whatever you want to be. I mean, take it from me. This young boy coming from Mississippi, very, very poverty stricken state, if you will. Man, I went on to get my PhD and I had some folks behind me, you know what I mean, towards helping me to do this, you know. And, my family have always motivated me, you know, and that's important. And that's important because everybody needs somebody in some shape, form, or fashion. Yeah.
Facts. So then, like, what does the end goal look like for you then?
Well, as it stands right now, what I would like to do, being that I did retire in Chicago in 2021, and I'm not going to say as sharp as I used to be, I'm not going to say that, but I just want to just relax a little bit, you know what I mean? Enjoy the family a little bit. Um, I'm not going to just sit on my tush, if I may say that, you know, but I just want to just be able just to enjoy the fruit of my labor,
Mm.
you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Smooth, smooth. Well, shoot, we'll leave it off right there. Really appreciate you for sitting down with us. And